Hey everybody, welcome to it. Andy,
Hello, how are we doing?
how are you, buddy?
Yeah, very good, very good. Sun's out, summer's coming, you know.
And this, I got rain today, but that's okay. My garden needs it, so I'll take it.
Perfect.
Yeah. So welcome everybody to the live stream. We have a special guest today. We're going to have the founder of Peaq, Leo, up in a few minutes. But for those of you who don't know who we are at YOM, YOM is a decentralized cloud gaming network. We have built the best way to get cloud gaming to work financially and technologically by doing a decentralized network. What that means is if you have a gaming rig at home and you want to earn some passive income, you allow us or our network to use your computer when you're not using it. And for the amount of games that you stream through your computer, we pay you. And that can be at an average, our estimates are an average of $77 per stream per month. And depending on your gaming computer, you can handle 2, 4, up to 8 streams at once. So you can do the math. That is our projections. We are our testnet is up and live, so we've got some games running. We're stronger in Europe than we are in North America, but we're expanding, and it's been a great bit of fun. I've been in games for about 20 years, 25 years, and really this is some of the best technology you've seen in making getting games out to a mass audience. I think this is the best I've ever seen, but I'm biased, right, a little bit. Andy is our CCO. Andy, welcome to it.
Hi, how you doing?
All right, what did I miss on the description of
Well, I was going to say that was really good actually. The only thing I was going to say is, and this links in quite nicely to what we've been doing today with the node sale, is there is obviously the ability to delegate licenses and to use bare metal machines owned by other people, so you can still earn revenue without actually having your own gaming rig as well.
Right. All right, so we usually start this off. We do a few minutes to give the community an update on where we are with the YOM project and some of the milestones we've recently hit before bringing up the guest. And I think, Andy, you wanted to do that today, so give me a chance to rest a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I think we should have done it last week, actually, shouldn't I? Saved your voice, considering how much pain you're in. But yeah, I mean, there's a few updates, some quite interesting stuff actually. We're obviously going to some events which we've got lined up. So there's Dubai for us next week, actually, which is really interesting because it's the first time we met. Leo was at Dubai last year, which was a really obviously great meeting, and good to meet him face to face. Actually, I think crypto is full of a lot of spaces where people never really meet each other. So when you meet someone face to face, you have a couple of beers with them, and you realize that actually we're all talking the same kind of language. It's a kind of light bulb moment, as you would say, Jeff, I'm sure. So we've got that one next week, which is going to be really interesting. So we'll be going over there, looking for partnerships, doing some really interesting stuff on funding. We've got VCs to meet, etc. as well. So that's going to be good. Jeff, you're off to Unreal Fest, which again is, so there's two sides to it. There's a crypto side, then obviously there is the gaming and tech side. And Unreal Fest is your little baby, isn't it? So
yeah, that's going to be in Orlando in June. Very excited. I haven't been to an Unreal Fest before. I've had friends of mine in studios I've worked at before who go, and they just love going, seeing all the technology that Unreal is pumping out these days. And since we're so strong in Unreal, it seemed worthwhile for me to go. And Orlando's my old stopping ground. I lived there for two different an 8-year stint and then a 3-year stint. So yeah, so I've lived there twice, and this is a chance for me to go back home again.
Nice. Yeah. That's good. And also there's a few other events that we're going to. We're going to Brighton for Develop conference in July, which is going to be that's lots of game studios. So it's going to be small, big. It's like one of the biggest gaming developer events as opposed to kind of studio events, if that makes sense. So again, that's going to be, there's no retail going to that one actually, which is going to be interesting. And it's more wider than Unreal only, which again I think should be useful. I think the other thing that's important for us to talk about is the bridging. So we've got, I think, 4 days left. So it's the 28th it runs out, and I believe if I've got it right, it's midnight. But again, don't leave it till midnight to bridge your tokens. I've had a couple of investors around here who bought tokens and stuff, and they're like, how do I do it? It's really simple, guys. By the way, there's the bridge app. Again, the only thing I would say is only use the apps which are in the official channels. Don't use anything else, because again, we're seeing this quite a bit. There are crypto scammers out there basically trying to get you to link into their apps, and then basically they'll steal your cash and tokens. So again, make sure you're safe on that, but it's really simple. You do it inside your Phantom wallet with an EVM link. So obviously when we move over to Peaq, you'll see that's where the tokens will go to. But again, there's lots to come. Don't panic too much. One thing I was going to say just on that bridging is people do tend to worry a little bit that the tokens leave their wallet and they don't get anything back in return, which again leads us into we'll talk about this in a minute around TGE, etc. People obviously the TGE is not going to be straight after the bridging finishes. It will be later on. So don't panic that your YOM tokens on Solana have left your wallet and you haven't got your Peaq ones yet. Again, just don't worry too much. We'll keep you informed. Follow the announcement channel and you'll see everything coming up there. The other thing I was going to say, actually, which links into the bridging, is well done to the tech team. So we've had Rowan, I think, finished at 6 a.m. this morning and then got up at 7:30 to finish off testing. Nothing like last minute stuff, but it was, it's better to test multiple times to make sure that everything works. Just so you know, rather than outsourcing it, we're building everything ourselves from scratch. So all the UI, all the UX, all the interfacing into the node sale channel, links into the leaderboard, also links into the stats channel as well. So when things go live, it'll all go live together. And that's not only Rowan, well done Dirk, and well done Patrick, and the rest of the tech team. Guido's and Jorn is on holiday this week, but he's done some great work. So I don't want to leave anyone out there. And the only other thing I was going to say as an update, sales cracking on nicely. It's still open at the moment. We're expecting it to probably close relatively quickly. So, if you do want to, you are whitelisted and you do want to buy, the nodes and the node licenses, you are able to delegate those as soon as the delegation opens. And at that point, you don't need to have a gaming rig, so you can buy and earn passive income without having to own the rig. So, congratulations to everyone who's doing that already. And the final bit is we will be having, did you say next? No, next week we're in Dubai. So we may do a random turn up and hello at like midnight or whatever time it is in Dubai when this happens. I think it's 6 hours later actually. So we'll probably.
No, I've got a guest lined up already for next week. So
basically, that's what you're saying. Yeah. But on the next bit, we will have a full AMA the following week, where people will be able to come in. We'll get questions coming in specifically around roadmaps, TGEs, all that kind of stuff. So do send it through. And obviously people know how to ask questions from both Leo and ourselves on the right hand side. So I think that's it. Jeff, is there anything else that we needed to talk about?
Nope, I think you did a good job. You covered it all. And this is probably a good time to remind everybody, if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, we're trying to get up over 800. We're about 4 away. You could be that 800th subscriber. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube, do that. A lot of people watch through Telegram. We're now broadcasting also to LinkedIn, so we can do it there. Let me let's bring up Leo. All right, Leo, how are you?
Amazing. Great to be here. Very good, actually. I'm already in the Emirates and Abu Dhabi currently.
Oh, cool.
So,
okay.
Yeah, excited to see you guys next week again. Since it's a 1 year anniversary, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll be staying here in the States, Leo. So you'll see Andy in Europe. But I think last year's 33-hour stay at the airport kind of convinced me that maybe Dubai is not a good travel for me.
Yeah, last year was crazy with the rain and the storm. Like that's complete mess. Yeah.
Well, let me explain Peaq to everybody who is not familiar. The way I've got it here, right? The Peaq is leading the global infrastructure revolution, empowering people to own and earn from mobility, energy, connectivity, environment, agricultural, and digital infrastructure. I mean, it's quite the lineup, right? Peaq is a layer 1 blockchain designed to be the go-to backbone for the DePIN real-world apps. It is home to more than, and if these numbers are outdated, let me know, Leo, more than 30 applications in 15 industries, to over 700,000 devices, vehicles, machines, robots, all machine RWAs, right? That run on these. So Peaq serves as a permissionless, borderless digital infrastructure for increasing intelligent machines to serve all of humanity, the 100%, not just the 1%, democratizing abundance in the age of AI and job automation. I love all of that phrase because, again, I think that was one of the first conversations that I had. Only was with Martin, but the idea that we are now able to build a different kind of economy, decentralizing revenue, putting money in the hands of people who own the equipment, and it can be mom and pop who own the equipment and still earning their income that way. Did I do a pretty good job of summarizing Peaq?
Yes, yes, totally. Just the numbers, actually, it's more than 60 applications by now, DePINs,
Excellent.
and more than 4 million already addresses on chain, humans and machines. So that, yeah, it's a bit outdated, but the rest is fully up to date still. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, I want to start kind of, if I can, at the beginning, because I don't know that everybody in our community knows you or knows Peaq, but if you could just go through a real quick 5-minute history of the project, how you get started, where it started from, what the vision was, and how we, like, I guess, leading up to last year when we first met.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we actually, as the three founders, Max, Till, and I, we started working together already in 2017. Back then it was early Ethereum days, and actually Till introduced Max and me to Ethereum before I got to know Bitcoin better. I got introduced to Ethereum, and then more to that idea of being able to build decentralized applications that don't run on a centralized system by one centralized company. So that was fascinating. And then there were many meetups in Berlin back then. And IOTA was around as well. I don't know if you guys have followed them back then, but was kind of, I think, also top 5 at that point. And they had that vision of the machine economy. And yeah, we kind of entered that community and explored use cases, and then figured out that there's much more work to do on the base layer technology, of course, right? There were no scalable L1s, no scalable L2s back then. You couldn't build any machine economy cases on a public blockchain at that point. It was just Ethereum, $15 per transaction, also in the ICO bubble back then. And yeah, we then said, okay, we don't want to launch a random ICO. We want to figure out what real business cases and problems can be solved with that technology. And then really looked around and thought, okay, let's build with enterprises. Enterprise blockchain was also quite hot back then, and we were like, okay, we can work with enterprises, make revenue, and figure out which business cases there are to be built. And we worked with Gucci, a machine manufacturer called DMG Mori, for example, and Audi as well in the Volkswagen Group. And that Audi project was kind of the first DePIN project that we worked on, because they wanted to solve the fragmentation and charging infrastructure. And they also wanted to enable private individuals to connect their private charging stations to the public. And this started in 2019. And that was kind of the first, DePIN use case that we thought about. Of course, enterprise blockchain doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. It doesn't disrupt anything, right? That we figured that out. They figured that out. I think everyone who was in that space figured that out at some point. But we realized that charging is just one use case, and there's so many more use cases. When you think about a smart city 10 years in the future, like all those drones, delivery, sensors, devices, it's just getting more and more. And if you build that on Web 2, you have those closed platforms where you have devices behind in those closed databases, and users need to sign up again and again, and you don't have an open digital economy emerging. And that realization was basically the foundation for the vision of building Peaq, building that global internet computer as a layer 1 blockchain, which has standardized functionalities like identity, access, time sync, payment, and so on, where builders could come and build with the same standards and then have atomic composability or interoperability between the different DePIN applications, as they're called now. Because when we started, DePIN wasn't a thing yet.
Right.
And 1.5 years into building Peaq, the term DePIN was coined, which was amazing. And we were, of course, very grateful, because we were building a layer 1 for DePIN with that bigger vision of the machine economy. And the way we see it is that all the DePINs working together like interoperability and composability, this is what's creating the machine economy. Some are collecting data, some are providing energy, others providing compute or storage, and like all of those services becoming open, permissionless, peer-to-peer is really creating this highly efficient machine economy where humans are, of course, at the center of earning from it and benefiting from it.
So is one
And
example
yeah,
of something like if I have solar panels on my roof, and my solar panels are part of a collection of solar panels that this network was built in order to collect solar power, but then that collection that sells that power to charging stations, for example, when they're, I've got too much is more than my house. But the DePIN of the solar panels is different, not built by the same people who did the DePIN of the charging stations, but with the Peaq economy, the machine, my house solar panels get paid directly from the machine from the charging station that's going ahead and using that energy, and that whole thing happens automated and on the Peaq blockchain. Is that a fair explanation of something,
yes.
some use case?
Absolutely. Like you have different use cases in energy, like charging, as you said, or energy generation through solar panels. And like the flow of value and energy can happen seamlessly because they're all built on an open system where everyone can participate and build on. And you don't have one closed platform, another closed platform. Of course, you see monopolies emerging or like companies try to become monopolies covering all of this, but this is not going to work area wide, especially in things like energy. And so, yeah, from our perspective, the machine economy and like a highly efficient economy can only happen on Web3.
Right.
I love it. And do you know what I was going to say? Every time you say it, I find myself going, "Wow!" Do you know what I mean? Each time, So well done, mate. Brilliant. As
Thanks
always,
a
and
lot,
we're always
guys.
very excited to have you on board and you to tell us the future.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted
Great to be here.
because Peaq is it's got such a wide range of industries that are being involved. Like when you had me on the stage in Singapore, we had the agriculture was on stage with me, and I think the energy was as well. But can you give me some other examples of other projects that are using Peaq besides YOM that are in these industries, like the agriculture or some of the other? I know solar, we just did the charging stations, but what are some other projects that you kind of want to highlight?
I think, yeah, I mean, maybe not like in terms of highlighting, it's always I don't want to do favoritism in that way.
Sure.
But I think what's cool is like there's some projects where you can get also involved very easily by just downloading an app. For example, Silencio, you can download an app and start measuring noise pollution and get a feeling for what DePIN is and how it works, right? Or also Mapmetrics, where you also download an app and you can start, mapping and contributing. So I think that those are some like easier entries which are nice for people. Then something that a few people I know also bought themselves the SkyX weather station, for example, because they were interested in having their local weather measured, but also being able to contribute to that data, which is quite cool. And yeah, there's so many use cases by now, and it's beautiful to see how it's emerging and growing. And I mean, now with you guys doing the node sale and like bringing in gaming, bringing in also more fun, let's say, because DePIN is very serious overall. It's the most serious part of Web3, right? But I think DePIN gaming is making it more fun and is making also DePIN a bit more playful than being the super serious vertical. Yeah.
I think you're going to find gaming rig owners, PC rig owners, they take their gaming rig really serious. I mean, and they should. But you're right, it is a dominant form of entertainment any longer, right? It makes more money than music, movies, and TV combined. Gaming is a massive, massive industry, which is again why we think our position is very strong to be decentralizing the cloud and then allowing games to reach even more people. Those people who have been shut out by not having the hardware. Now, borrowing somebody else's hardware to play these high-powered games. I think that's just, that's what we're excited by. I don't even know, Leo, are you a gamer or were you a gamer back in the day?
When I was younger, yeah, I played some video games. I have to say I've never been a hardcore gamer, but yeah, played some like, I mean, FIFA, of course, everyone played some
Yeah, right.
some shooter games as well, right, as a teenager and so on. But yeah, I have never been a hardcore gamer, I have to admit. Yeah,
That's okay. We forgive you.
thank you. Yeah.
All right. So what about now? Annie made allusion to this before. And do you actually remember when it was at it was the Peaq booth? I think it was that you and I went to in Dubai. Yeah.
I think
I
we met at the
At the
Peak
side
event.
event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Borderless, and we were drinking gin and tonics, I think, you and me. And then I can't remember whether it was the day before or it was the day after we went to the Peak booth. I should have. Do you know what? I've got a Get Real T-shirt. Yeah, and
All right.
I should have gone and got it. It's a really nice T-shirt, by the way. So maybe I'll tell you what, I'll
Cheers.
take it to Dubai with me, and I'll wear it. I'll wear it there. But yeah, that was so it was the Peak event, and there was Jessica from Coin Bureau
From
doing
Coin Bureau
the
back then, yeah.
presentations. Yeah, but that was a
Yeah.
very good opener, really, and it was yeah, it was fun.
Totally. Yeah, I remember. We had a good chat on gin and tonics.
We did.
Like we had gin and tonics and we're chatting while we're having
Yeah.
gin and tonics. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was the start of it. Like, right, let's go. This is it. Destiny, you know?
Yeah.
But
Totally. And then we also the Outlier Ventures Base Camp, right? That
yes.
then
Yeah.
we got deeper
And you're
in
doing
touch.
this. I was going to say because you were great on that one previously, and the whole Peak team, Martin included, and you're doing it again, aren't you? Are you doing the
Yes.
DePIN? Okay, great,
Yes.
that's good, and that started already, hasn't it? So I think there's some of the cohorts are going to Dubai as well, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, started a
Nice.
couple of weeks ago, actually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And obviously,
Yeah,
it's not as good as our cohort, but you know, who could
Again,
be?
I
You know?
I can't say anything here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when that's right, because it was Dubai first, and then from Dubai, and I think meeting you, that's when we were encouraged to join the OV cohort, right? Because I think we had not applied. I think we were like we had a week left to get our application in, and they took us in that very first week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
right. It's all coming back to me now. All right, so tell us about where Peaq is going. What's the current status, and where's the next big news coming from? Give us as much inside information, I
As
guess,
far
you
as
can give.
possible.
We won't tell anyone.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. So very, very exciting weeks and months to come, actually. So Q1 was a bit slower, and we had like a Get Real season 1, right? But Get Real season 2 will be launched in Q2. Bigger, better, stronger. So that's something exciting for the community, for every DePIN in the ecosystem, right? Because that's gonna incentivize fun and growth and bring value to everyone. But then we have the entire DeFi ecosystem launching, or we call it machine DeFi ecosystem, or let's say the first version and primitive, so the first DEX by a absolute top team in the industry is going to launch. Peaq native launchpad as well, also by a top team. So there's all those DeFi primitives which are coming onto Peaq as well. Usually chains have them earlier. We've been focused on DePIN, right? Other chains are usually focusing, like DeFi is usually their ecosystem, or to a large degree. And so we're very happy that this is rolling out soon. And with that angle on the machine economy and machine DeFi. Also things like tokenization of machines, right? That you can crowdfund hardware and you can co-own it. And I think maybe also for you guys interesting, where gaming rigs can be crowdfunded, co-earned, and the community can pool capital. So you can invest in the business model without having to earn the hardware necessarily yourself if you can't afford it, or like don't want to run it all the time. So those things upcoming soon. We also have closed a big partnership on a very big level. There will be more news coming out, and it's very exciting because it will help deepen adoption. It will help the ecosystem adoption massively, and it's exciting to work with very powerful, forward-thinking partners, which can also help on the regulatory side, which really understand where we want to go and share our vision. And I think it's gonna be a big part to mainstream adoption. So those things are upcoming. We have tremendous chain upgrades upcoming as well on testnet. We will roll out at least 0.4 second block time and almost 70K transactions per second in production. So we're going to beat most or almost all fast chain competitors out there, and this is rolling out on testnet in Q2, in Q3 also on mainnet. So this, very exciting, and we're gonna make building on Peaq much easier than it is today, using the newest technologies. And there's movement on all levels, and we will share that publicly. Like it will be visible on socials and in the public very soon.
I won't press you too hard on that one, unless Andy's going to press you.
I was going to ask something, and then there's the meme token as well. You're obviously doing a meme token, yeah? I'm joking.
Yeah, they're coming back actually.
At some point, somebody probably will. I'm sure of it. But obviously, Peaq's. I don't want to say serious business, but it's a proper. It's a chain that is designed to enable Web 2 to move to Web 3, and a chain that is enabled to make utilization better. It's not a meme token. I just say that for a bit of tongue in cheek. But I was going to say, obviously, on the partnership side, obviously, we're not going to ask you who it is, and you're definitely not saying make sure you buy some tokens now before the announcement. You're not saying that in the
Definitely
slightest.
not.
We're not going to quote you. Exactly. But yeah, very exciting.
But can I ask
I'm looking forward to
a more roundabout question about it? This partnership, can you see a leg where YOM gets a big leg up because of the partnership? It's a community question, but I think I would echo it as well. Like there's a path there with this partnership and bringing YOM kind of into that fold. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, there is. It's a framework partnership. Let's put it like this, and there is a lot that can be done within this framework and in this partnership, and it's a lot about also engagement and fun and building up revenue streams for citizen and so on. So yes, and there's also a lot to be done for YOM and in that context. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, bring us in as soon as you want. As soon as you want to make the introduction.
Yeah.
For our community, just to know, we don't know really much more than what Leo's just said right there. So he's they're holding the cards close to the chest, which we appreciate. We understand the value in rolling out at the right time. Is it something that gets announced during July, during Token 2049, or is it post that?
Post that, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Where were we at? Oh, so the other thing that I pinged on was this nervous system of the physical internet. Like I like that concept, and it was in a tweet that was recently out. Can you talk to me more about what that means, the nervous system of the physical internet?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you think about physical AI, be it a robot, a humanoid, or a car, or like anything navigating the real world, right? Those machines, they don't have eyes. They can't sense, like they can't see, they can't hear with the same organs we have, right? They need sensors. They need sensors to understand their environment. And what DePIN is powerful at is crowdsourcing sensory data from all kinds of sensors to then enable the physical internet or physical AI, like humanoids, for example, or robotaxis, to understand their environment, where something is, where something happens, at what time, at which location exactly. And there are projects like Orki, for example, or Over the Reality. They are working on aggregating this sensory data generated by many different DePINs and making that available for physical AI to navigate through the world. And of course, if you go one layer deeper, Peaq being the computer where all those sensors having their identities, verifying their data, and all of that. And then ultimately also the machines are running on the applications those physical machines are running on. So nervous system is one part, and like you can really think of Peaq as this computer powering the machine economy. And one essential part of that is actually the nervous system of understanding what is happening in the real world, right? Like is there, where is something a drone flying in which position, or is like if a robot moves, really understanding their environment without also having to map and register everything themselves with their sensors they have, but getting that information crowdsourced from all kinds of sensors around them.
So I could see, walk with me down this path a little bit, right? So what YOM is, essentially what we're building is a way to do the internet in 3D at a cost-effective way, because you can't do it from a central server; it's just too expensive. So decentralizing the 3D internet, decentralizing the game stream allows you to build 3D internet that's affordable and actually can work. So if the DePIN that Peaq is powering is the nervous system, you could see an application where you go to a website. If there's a forest fire raging in a certain area, and the sensors around that area are picking up the forest fire, and you wanted to see this in an interactive 3D map. So now we can go and I can be on a website that's a 3D vision of the world, and it in real time is getting the data from these sensors that's showing where the fires currently are. And I, as a user, can move the camera around and act almost like the helicopter that's looking over the scene. So instead of, we had recent forest fires in California and the States that were pretty bad, but you were reliant on the news cameras in the helicopters to show you where it was, and simple graphics. But I love Google Maps, and I love Google Maps in 3D, Google Earth even more. But if Google Earth is able to do it in high definition 3D rendering and get real world data from the Peaq network that shows you where those fires are, it's a much better way for me as a citizen who's concerned to kind of watch and interact with what's going on. Is that a pretty fair way to look at like
Totally.
how these two systems interact?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, mapping what's happening in the real world in real time is one thing, right? You can use phones, you can use all those sensors, or like, for example, Natix, when you drive around, you have the phone here and it registers what is happening in real time on the street. But then you also need the system that is making that real time of the real world in real time available and visualizable, right? That you can go there with, I don't know, your glasses or like your screen. And I think this is where you guys come in, and also where it even expands beyond gaming, because the technology you're building for gaming, I think, will become also ultra relevant for just the world we're moving into, where the entire world, at least the big cities, will be in real time. You can experience them and you can see what is happening. You can go there and you have kind of that merging between reality and digital space where you can tap into reality. And I think you guys are building a core technical infrastructure piece of that, which is allowing that real-time data to be transported and made accessible.
Okay, I'm glad that kind of rang true. Andy, I keep on hoarding.
No, I was just going to say no, and yeah, you're asking all the spot on questions. But again, Leo, it's brilliant. It's like, I think it is the future, isn't it? We all know it, and I think some people are scared of the future because of what it can entail. But I think as long as we're all ethical and looking at it in the right way and thinking about how this builds on the world as opposed to takes away from it, it's great. And I think Jeff's analogy there was brilliant. The cities that we're going towards, and how the cities will interface and how sensors will integrate. And I think it's definitely going to be I'm going a bit mad. I'm thinking there's so many options. I'm like, we could do a ton of stuff, really.
We've got a few community questions that I'm going to throw at Leo. The DEX that people want to know when the decentralized exchange is coming up. Do we have a timetable on that?
That's so in the next weeks, I can say for sure. And it's just getting more, like, there's some final things that are being made ready, and we're structuring a bigger liquidity campaign as well. And once this is ready, the DEX is gonna be rolled out. Very exciting. It's
Q2. It sounds like Q2 is definite.
yeah. Like now's April. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Like we said before end of April, but as you know, timelines are moving, so that's why I'm a bit hesitant. But it technically is ready to rumble. Just a few final things are missing, but yeah,
Very
like
good.
it's gonna be super cool. Like the brand, I don't want to. Yeah, I'm biased, but I think it's one of the coolest brands I've ever seen.
Nice.
Very
Nice.
good. I was going to say there was a nice question there saying how many YOM nodes did Leo buy, and obviously none because he's not whitelisted. Do you know what I mean?
That's
Sorry,
right.
Leo, you have to come back next time. You know.
Oh damn! Yeah, like is there a way to still get onto the list?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, maybe we can make an exception. Well, don't say anything, Leo.
maybe.
DM us afterwards, mate. DM afterwards.
Okay.
We'll
Sounds
get you.
good.
These are the
Sounds
OG
good.
ones. Now
Yeah,
down the track, we have to. We've already actually had some discussions
those are
about the
the
idea.
OG ones, right? Yeah.
Yeah, these are the OG ones, but the
Yeah.
Peaq branded nodes are going to have to. That's down the
Yeah.
track. We
Nice,
It'll be
nice,
very
nice,
low
nice.
cool.
ones as
Okay,
well.
cool. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna miss this one.
And then another question was, I'm not sure actually how far aware you are. I know some of the team is, but we now have the demo game Valley of the Ancients running on our website and inside of Telegram. The question was, has Leo played the game off of our website yet? And you're there, and now you've been traveling a whole bunch too, I know, but you're there in Germany now, so it's available to you. You can start playing.
Very, very cool. Nice. I'm gonna check it out after the session. Yeah, I have to admit last year we launched and then there was this post-launch phase. Now it gets better, but I mean as you guys know, right? It's just a constant stream of things. And now we prepared a lot for before coming here. We also we've set up the structure of Peaq in a way that we can scale globally. Also on an entity level, we're hiring lots of amazing people right now, which also will then give me more time again to do exciting things and play games and also play around with the DePINs that are really building in the ecosystem. Like we're gonna open an office soon in Lisbon as well, and we're gonna have like a room where we just get all the DePIN hardware and play around with it. Another one in Abu Dhabi down the road, and so like I'm very much looking forward to that.
So, are you going to be based in? Are you going to stay where you are in Berlin, or are you going to? Should I ask this question or not? Is this a quiet one?
Yeah, you can. No, I think it's getting more and more. It's not at one place, but Lisbon gonna spend a lot of time. Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Emirates is also we're spending a lot of time here. Berlin as well, and I mean, of course, in the States too. Like it's getting like we're in such a global industry. It's really hard to be in one place, and there are amazing things happening in all kinds of areas of the world. So it's the next year is gonna be a lot on the road for me for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, get used to traveling. Get used to being in airports. That's if
Yes,
you get into the Web3 space, that's kind of where you have to get used to traveling. That's absolutely true.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Singapore is also amazing, or like East Asia. Yeah, there's also a lot of amazing stuff happening there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's worldwide, which it makes it so exciting, really, when you think about it.
Totally.
So today we minted our licenses on the Peaq chain. Any thoughts about what this means to Peaq and our relationship?
Yeah, I mean, super happy that this happened. I mean, last year we almost have like the anniversary, so we definitely need to celebrate this after 1 year. And of course, it's beautiful to see that the adoption that things are happening, right? We've been also working so long and so hard to get to this point, and having fantastic people like you building on Peaq, building with us, yeah, is a true honor. And it's a great honor to see that after such a long time. And it's really about what we care a lot about is the people that we're building with, and like the culture and the ecosystem, right? Being kind, humble people that want to make the world a better place, and that are just really have a good heart. And you guys are among these big time. And yeah, so it's a big honor and big pleasure to work and build together and have this kind of cementation through today's minting of the node licenses. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Did
Yeah.
anything, Andy, I didn't cover that we should cover, or Leo?
No, I mean, the
anything
only thing I was going to say, and just echoing completely what Leo says, I think in a space which is full of very nice people, okay people, and some people that are just trying to rip you off, I think it's really nice and it's important about who you build with. And I think every engagement we've had with the Peaq guys so far has been spot on, you know, going the extra mile, helping us, you know, bouncing ideas backwards and forwards. I think the future is, you know, is very interesting. And again, for the other, I didn't realize it's 60 now DePINs that you've got building, which is brilliant. And I think the bigger you guys get, and the keep going as you are, then it'll just keep growing. So yeah, I think it's very exciting times is all I'll say. 2025, 2026, I think it's going to be great.
It's gonna be rock and roll. Yeah,
Indeed.
absolutely. No, for sure. I think, yeah, I think in this industry too, yeah, like yeah, like we're happy that DePIN emerged and that there are more and more people who really want to make a difference, because a lot of people are also in that space to make money and make money only, right? And not
Yeah.
build actually real businesses and potentially even businesses that have a positive impact in one way or the other. So this is what we really love to see, the like-mindedness and what you said before, like onboarding Web 2 to Web 3, right? Like really starting to create mass adoption, be it on the enterprise level, but also onboarding users that before were maybe hesitant because they're like, meme coins. I mean, if I want to speculate, I go to the casino, right? But like really showing them, hey, you can actually create something meaningful and valuable with this technology, not just gamble and speculate. And yeah, I think this is also what we stand for, and collectively. And yeah, the next 1-2 years will be super exciting. Yeah.
I didn't mention, but yesterday was Earth Day, and I think much of what Peaq is doing again echoes what we're doing. Where if you get rid of those central servers, how much you save. There was just a report I watched the other day on the news. They're building a a massive data center 2 hours from here, and the people who are living the land around that data center, they've lost water pressure. The water's been all polluted with the silt from everything being kicked up. These massive data centers that keep on going up are just environmentally super destructive. Much of what Peaq is doing, much of what YOM is doing, is eliminating the need for those massive data centers by putting the power in the hands of local equipment and local economies. So it does feel
Amazing.
like we're doing the earth the right thing by building what we're building.
Yeah, and
Totally.
just one final bit on that as well. I think there's a really interesting bit here as well, where even if you think about you know, there's all this wasted technology, isn't there? You know, and wasted kind of, you know, you look at what we're doing with the GPUs, they sit there most of the time not being used, you know, and people are driving around anyway. You know, you put your phone into the, you know, into the car and you start filming, you know, and then you're sharing data, you know, you got your sensors on your car, all that kind of stuff. I think it's about utilization resources effectively, as opposed to, you know, wasting, you know, masses of production, loads of raw materials. You know, we're going to run out. So I don't want to sound like too hippie-ish. I am too hippie-ish. Do you know what I mean? But it's
like, if you can utilize everything super efficiently, I think cars are just utilized 6% or so of the time, right? Like 94%.
Wow.
I would need to check again, but some crazy number. Cars are just standing around being parked, right? So like if we can really make all the resource energy, like we're generating in Germany, there's so much renewable energy generated. What's missing is the ability to effectively trade it. Like all the batteries in cars, they can be charged and then they can release the energy again to the grid in bidirectional charging. It's just missing the infrastructure and the systems to make the usage and the trading of goods and services highly efficient, and this is what we're working on with DePIN, and yeah, it's going to be amazing in a couple of years.
Saving the earth, love it. All righty. Well, this is that brings us to the end. I think we got to we got to most of the questions. If you're asking, Hamza just asked about the decks, but again, we said in the coming weeks, it's very, very close. Well, Leo, thanks again for being part of the broadcast. We'll we're going to do it again when as we do the Peaq branded YOM node. We'll have either you or Martin, somebody come back on board, and we'll talk more. But community's been very positive. They all are thanking you for being a part of the broadcast today and sharing your thoughts.
Thanks a lot, guys.
So
thanks a lot for having
thanks for
me.
coming, Leo.
Yeah.
We'll see you
Thanks
next week.
a lot.
Yeah,
looking forward. Awesome.
indeed.
I'm going to drop the stream, but don't you drop off just yet, Leo. We'll say goodbye off air. All right. Thanks,
Sounds
everybody,
good.
for tuning in.
Thanks,
And again,
everyone.
subscribe to the channel.